Maleficent now has 5 cards in the game of Disney Lorcana. And on today's video, we're going to rank them, give you our best thoughts on each card individually, and kind of talk about, what role they might play in the metagame as a whole. Yeah, we have 2/3 of the set left to go, but it's always fun to rank these cards early and kind of go back to it later on. First and foremost, don't ever forget that this list is super subject to change, of course, but for now, we're going to really have fun with this wonderful Maleficent character and kind of really good cards here, guys. Let's get it started. Maleficent Sinister Visitor. Yeah, seriously. Just say that like 4 or 5 times fast if you even can. If you get to 3, I'll be impressed. Because that's a really awful sub-name to try and kind of remember and dictate and always, kind of repeat. Hopefully, the good news is we don't have to say this one too often because this card is without doubt the worst of the Maleficent cards spoiled so far. 4 cost is fine for the 2 lore. The 3/4 is pretty mediocre at 4 cost. The vanilla ability means you're not doing anything with this card. And even right now in the current Sapphire mold, there just isn't any room for a villain Sorceress. So unless we get some cards that kind of buff the reason or like the potential for playing those subtypes of cards, I don't think this is going to see too much play. I haven't even really seen it in play in even decks currently, so that's probably not a good sign and a real good reason to put this in the D tier for this first one. Maleficent Monstrous Dragon is a 9 cost 7/5 with 2 lore, but her ability of Dragonfire to banish a chosen character when she's played is a really wonderful card in the game. This ability is really high end, of course, because it costs 9, but to be complemented with a 7 attack or 7 strength and a 5 willpower is really nice because honestly, this potential for this card taking out multiple cards is very high. The fact that you get the first one as soon as you play, and then the second one when they challenge you if they have to, maybe even a third one because 5 willpower isn't always that beatable with one character. So nonetheless, it's really good, really powerful, and the ability to also be able to, not only are you winning the game because you're removing their card, but you're also now having a quester in play for 2 lore. Definitely might help you catch up in a game you might have felt a little bit behind in. This Maleficent's doing a lot for everything, but the real true fact here is that it's probably only going to see play in control, maybe high-end mid-range decks, or ramp decks, but it's definitely not going to see play in every single Ruby deck, and because of that, we have to kind of give it a little bit lesser of a grade than it might be required. So we're going to put the Monstrous Dragon in the B tier. Now, Dragonfire might be the Monstrous Dragon's wonderful ability, but it's also a card in the game. It's a really good action for 5 cost to get to banish a chosen character. Now, unlike Maleficent Monstrous Dragon, well, this card will probably see play in every single Ruby deck, and if anything, it's a reason for other inks to even considering splashing 2 Ruby. Yes, you can't ink this, which is important to note, but the flat-out removal of this card on any action in the game is going to be a standard bearer for pretty much the entire metagame of Chapter 1, maybe even in Chapter 2. It's also very likely a card that you'll see reprinted over and over and over again. So because of that, we're going to put Dragonfire in the A tier. Maleficent is always biding her time. I love this subname for her. She's definitely a planner, and this is a very, very great card for that concept. It looks very simple, right? 1 cost, 1 strength, 1 willpower, and 2 wonderful lore points. And you can't even resource this card. Can't even put in the inkwell. Is this card good? Yeah, the card's really good. It's particularly great in any Amethyst aggro deck. You've already seen on the channel now, we've had a couple gameplay videos out by now with this biding her time Maleficent really putting in the work and getting lots of lore on her questing duties. But the real truth is with this card is that if you're able to figure out a way to utilize it in control and even mid-range, it might be a staple in all Amethyst decks. That ability to pay 1 and then have a 2 lore character on the play very early threatens the game extraordinarily early. Because if your opponent misses a turn 1 and misses their turn 2, this chick might get 4 or 6 lore points before your opponent ever has anything to do. And then once they get things in play, you can kind of just leave her there and then wait to utilize her when it's best for you. And that's what's really strong about this card, and that's why I have to put it in the S tier. Maleficent Sorceress. 3 cost, 2 strength, and 2 willpower, and the ability of cast my spell. When you play this character, you may draw a card, and of course, she quests for 1 lore. Now, I understand that this card looks super run-of-the-mill basic. However, sometimes simplicity is good, and that's exactly what this card represents. It represents a card that every single Amethyst deck will play. Just the fact that she replaces herself is just something that no other card in the game really has right now, and that's a pretty big important thing. The fact that Amethyst has songs already built in that cost 3 that this card is so happy to exert for is just another benefit to this card. And because of it, currently I think it makes it in the S tier for all Maleficents. And it also makes it the best. This card, without a doubt, will probably be the most played of all 5 of these current Maleficents. We'll have to see if there's any more coming out soon. These tier lists have been a lot of fun to do so far. We did one for Mickey Mouse, and now we have Maleficent. But hey, if there's this particular character or type of tier list that you guys want to see, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you want me to break down for you guys and give you my opinion for. If not, check out the gameplay to my left right here. Enjoy it. Thanks again for watching. Of course, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.